Hi, good morning, Mangwanani, my friends. I woke up not so long ago. I'm feeling pretty sleepy this morning, but I just felt like doing a quick little reading for whoever needs it. So the way that divination works is that you will always get what you need. So, which is such like, it works in so many ways. Like when you're doing the reading, whatever you hear or feel or sense is what you are meant to hear or feel or sense, and whatever you receive is what you're meant to receive. So it does seem like magic, and it is in a sense a form of magic, just in that, yeah, it is, I guess it is magic. It's just a bringing of something from the unseen into the seen, which I believe is the same process as art, and many things. So what I was saying, the point of me saying that was that whoever engages with this video and feels intuitively led to watch it, there may be some meaning in this for you. So just keep an open mind and a soft heart, and just see if you can receive anything from this in your own way. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is just it's where you are now, where you would like to be in the perceived future, and what is between you in that space, like between where you are now and between where you want to be, whether it's an action step that you need to take or yeah, we'll see. So it's just a 3-card reading. So let me just shuffle it with that intention in mind. These are my Mary Hanson Roberts cards. They're really, really beautiful, little pocket-sized, awesome travel companion pack. I really like them for the imagery. I've worked with 3 different tarot decks in my life, and I resonate most with, the first one I ever worked with I resonated with very, very much, but it wasn't mine. It was just on loan to me for me to learn, and but I really love this one as well. It's a beautiful deck. So, excuse my schnapps, it's season change and feeling it. Very leaky in the mornings. Okay. Alrighty, so let's flip these cards. Yeah, okay, so where you are now is death. And this is actually this card is one of the cards that I think when people hear of tarot readings, it's like the card that they fear the most, because people are like, you're going to predict my death and I'm going to die. But in symbolism, in not mythology, in mysticism, in alchemy, in all of the earth magics, death is just another part of life. It's not necessarily always physical either. I mean, yes, there very often is physical death. Things die every day. In nature, we need plants to die and break down to go back into the earth in order to nourish the earth so that new things can grow. And yeah, it's like a very needed part of life is the death part of the life cycle. And I think I wanted to say mono something. in modern human culture, it's like mono something, like we're focused on only the good. Like it's like this really consumerist, fast-paced society where happiness and stimulation and positive, perceivably positive, like exciting, stimulating things is the focus, and then anything that's more negative is like shunned and hidden, even though there's always going to be that other side, especially in a society that favors like unnatural stimulation and unnatural levels of work ethic or aspiration, or like you can have big dreams. I have huge dreams, but the modern Western society would have you you have to wake up really early every morning and work the whole day and like never rest and never play, because hard work is the only way that things are achieved, and that's not true. I was actually just now this morning singing myself a song. Give yourself time, you will be fine. Because I'm just reminding myself that sometimes all you need is time. That's the biggest lesson I learned recently, was that I just need time for what I want to manifest, for the opportunities to kind of come in, for things to fall into place. I'm learning that certain things are going to take more time than other things, and how to prioritize my visions and my aspirations, and to allow the bigger, more intricate, complicated ones the time and space that they need, and to not expect them to manifest like right now, because they're not going to I'm not going to give them the time and the honor and the energy and the respect and the effort that they deserve if I'm trying to force them to happen now, when in actuality they're more of a long-term vision. So anyway, death is where you're at right now. So death is, as I was saying, it's just the end of a cycle. So don't see this as like, oh, I'm going to die. But maybe it is. Maybe your ego will be like, oh, I'm going to die, which is fine, because we're going to go through many ego deaths in this life. And it's really good, actually. It's a good place to be when you are ready to let go of something, like an identity or a perception or a behavior or or just like a vision of yourself, like an identity. Like maybe you're holding yourself to be someone that you really aren't, because it's like something you've built up around yourself as maybe a protection, or maybe you just want to be liked and you want to fit into society, or like I've done that, like, well, not so much, but yeah, I have. Like you're not too sure of who you are, so you kind of like look at the world and then you build up this like patchwork identity from the outside world, which can leave you feeling a bit disjointed, like a scarecrow, instead of just actually allowing yourself the time. Give yourself time, you will be fine. Instead of just allowing yourself the time to unfold, allowing yourself the time to unfold organically, and to let your identity actually become you, like your true self to come through. So I think it can be a scary part of this journey when you don't really know who you are, and then because of that you don't know where you fit into society, and you don't know how to show up to things and to people, and you don't know how to be a part of the world because you don't even know who or what you are, which is where I think a lot of people, especially in the millennial, but a lot of people everywhere, like they just because they're too scared to give themselves the time to be a bit malformed, that they rush into creating and curating themselves this identity that isn't really who they are, and then you can kind of get stuck in that identity, which will actually limit you from becoming your full self, limit you from reaching your full potential, because you were too scared to allow yourself those vulnerable cocoon phases, or even that phase just beyond the cocoon where you're coming out but your wings are still wet and they need to dry in the sunlight and you're very, very vulnerable. That phase can be really scary and uncomfortable, especially when it takes a lot longer than you hoped it would or thought it would. So this is where you're at now, death. So, and it's not about like, oh, you need to let things die. It's like things are dying, like whether you want them to or not. Like things are ending in your life right now, whether it's relationships, whether it's literally like you can feel yourself changing, whether you're conscious of it or not. Maybe you maybe certain foods that you used to like aren't sitting right with your gut anymore. Maybe you're not sleeping so well. Maybe you're having a lot of dreams about your past, about things that you thought you'd let go, or maybe you're even remembering things from your past that you actually forgot had happened. Yeah, or maybe things just aren't flowing for you. Maybe you're like having some conflict in your life, whether it's with people that you're close with or just random people, like in the traffic or in the shopping mall. You're encountering weird like situations, or just things that you want aren't really working for you at the moment, or maybe even just so that like your energy is just feeling sapped, like you're struggling to feel motivated to get out of bed in the morning, or to have like the energy to get things done that you need to get done, or like, yeah, to like make yourself a nutritious meal, or to take yourself outside, like depressive kind of energy of not feeling, what's the word? I wanted to say enlightened, like light from within, but vitality. It's that like life force within you. You're not feeling that so connected to that part of yourself at the moment. So that's death, and that's where you are now. Okay, and then this is where you want to be. Let's do that, and then we'll deal with what you need to do. So this is where you want to be. This is the sun. So it's like a really beautiful image of a little cherub character riding a beautiful white horse, and yeah, and there's this cute little sun, like baby sun, that makes me think of the Teletubbies in the background, and there's just sunflowers and rainbow colors, and it's all beautiful. And this is where you'd like to be. So I definitely resonate with that. This like feeling of, oh, I've been feeling it lately, like here, the sun shines through the window, and it's autumn now, so things are colder in the mornings and the evenings, but we're still having these really nice warm days. But like when you're waiting for the day to warm up and it's still cold, you just like go stand in the sun or sit in a sun ray somewhere. And I know that feeling from winter as well, when it's like so cold and then you just feel the sun on your skin and it's this warmth. And that's just, I was thinking that last night as well. I was walking to get water from the rain tank and I was looking up at the stars, and I was thinking about how for the last few weeks nighttime has really felt like daytime for me. Like I haven't felt the shift. Like last year I was feeling the shift to nighttime very powerfully. That when the sun left, I felt quite vulnerable. I felt like the sun was holding a very powerful space for me. It was making me feel safe and warm and cozy and comfortable. And then when the sun set at nighttime and it was dark, and the darkness came, then I began to feel very vulnerable. And nowadays I'm feeling that solar energy within me, within my soul, 24/7, whether the sun's physically visible or not. I don't feel the whelming, like approaching feeling of darkness anymore, and I feel that's because I've reached this place within my own life where the sun is radiating through me, my own life force, light, warmth I've cultivated within myself, and it's burning bright enough that I can walk at night and feel the sun still with me. Obviously I feel cold or whatever, but yeah. So this is a space that you would like to be in, and this is where you're at now. You're going through the death process. And yeah, again, there's like so many ways that this can manifest for you. So you're going to have to just reflect in your own life. Like death is a symbol of ending and new beginning. So don't be too literal with this. But you may also encounter like dead animals. Your cat may bring you like dead rats or whatever. Or maybe you'll accidentally step on a bug, or you'll see a dead bird in the road or whatever, like roadkill or whatever. Death will be present in its many manifest forms. So, and then yeah, and you're wanting to be in a space where you feel the sun shining 24/7, and that's not cheesy like movie vibes. It's like really just to feel that warmth and that lightness of like, you know, when you have like a really, really nice summer day, like maybe you've been on the beach all day and you come home and you're just feeling so grounded and so connected to yourself, or you're lying on the grass and you can hear the birds singing, like those really beautiful moments where the sun is just like almost hugging you. You're like enveloped in the warmth of the sun. And those are just physical moments. I've had some really physically beautiful experiences feeling the warmth of the sun. But then now imagine that as a symbol, and that feeling like within your life, within yourself, that warmth and that glow within your existence. That's the journey that you are on. Okay, cool. So then this is what in between. So that's where you want to be, that's where you are, and then this is kind of like, okay, how do we get there? What's the path to this feeling of warmth and radiance and confidence and enlightenment? What is it? It's the 8th, 7. Sorry. Not sorry. I'm struggling with this focusing. So it's the 7 of Swords. Maybe if I hold it here. 7 of Swords. So it's a picture of this guy. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swords, and there's 2 swords in the background, and he's kind of looks like he's like looting, you know. He looks a little bit guilty, and he's like a little bit of an underhand kind of character. And yeah, what I get from this is just a sense of, even if you look at his hands, if you look at the way that he's holding onto these swords, it's like this like holding feeling, and it's almost so there's greed in him, and yeah, he's like holding on to it and he's taking it back. So what I sense from this is that he's kind of like, also he almost looks like he's like at a village that isn't his own, and now he's taking it back to his home. So sure, I get a lot from this. What I get from this is it resonates with what I was saying earlier with death, where I was saying maybe you haven't allowed your identity to fully form, and therefore you're in this vulnerable, like coming out of the cocoon space, and then when you were there you felt so vulnerable that you needed a shell, so you started to look for things in the outside world to create a shell, like a protective layer over yourself, and you've done that, and that's almost like this, like you went to a village that wasn't your own, and you got things that weren't yours, weren't made for you, weren't made by you, they don't really fit you, and you've put them onto yourself because you felt like you needed protection. Like here, this sense of like stealing almost, he's being sneaky. Well, I believe that like even like when someone robs you, when you get something stolen from you, yes, like there is on the surface level there might even just be like like cheeky kid or whatever, like just trying to do something for fun and they get a thrill out of it. But on a deeper sense, there's always going to be a sense of lack. There's always going to be a sense of they have more than me, therefore I can take it. And it's almost like this like reacquiring. It's like they don't need it, I need it. Like this belief that you don't have what you need, and that someone or something or somewhere else has what you need, and that you need to go and sneakily take it and then acquire it for your own means. And I really resonate with that, in that like what I was saying about your identity, and then even just like I wanted to say job. Maybe some of you are in jobs or career paths or subjects or groups of friends or behaviors, identities. You may be in like spaces in your life, groups of friends, places that you go to often, like pubs or restaurants or I don't know, just like it's not you, it's not the real you. And you are stealing, almost like you're taking something from outside of yourself, but it's not you, and you need to let it go. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say in a long-winded way, to say that you need to let it go. Like you need to take off these layers that aren't you. You need to remove the identities. You need to give space to the relationships that you don't truly in your heart resonate with. You need to stop eating the foods or overindulging or using substances as like a crutch, whatever it is that is not your true self. You need to allow yourself to let go of those things because they're actually weighing you down. Your true self is inside. What that identity wants to emerge from within you, that you have abundance within yourself already, and you're actually squishing it down by having all these layers of like protection or whatever it is that you have on you that aren't your truth. They are now stopping your true self from blooming. I almost see like these sunflowers in this picture here, but they're like can't get through because there's this like outside layer of like metal almost. It's like this hard outer shell that you have acquired from outside, and you thought you were protecting yourself, but now you're actually limiting yourself from blooming. So yeah, so whatever it is that you need to let go of, that's what you need to do. So you can feel it already. You already know that you're on a subconscious or a conscious level. You already know, you're already going through the process of death. And it's because you're on your way to new life. But you need to stop holding on to all of these external things that you've acquired, that you've built around yourself, that you thought you were protecting. And again, I want to emphasize it was coming from a place of subconscious, like fear almost, like you didn't believe in yourself. And I resonate with this so much. I've been there. I'm literally going through this process within myself. Like, you weren't like trying to steal and be nasty or whatever, but you were just like, you felt so vulnerable and you didn't feel adequate, and you were just trying to protect yourself. So you were like getting these identities from external influences, or if it's a clothing style that you, like a style or a diet or whatever, it could be many things. Like maybe there's a specific food that you eat when you feel insecure, but it actually doesn't make you feel well, and you know that you shouldn't do it. But when you're in that insecure, uncomfortable space, you have such a strong impulse to just eat that food, that it overpowers your higher knowledge of what's actually good for your body, and what actually does actually make you feel good. Because you may feel sick immediately after eating the food, but that impulse of needing comfort is so much stronger than you knowing that you're even not going to feel well. It's actually going to discomfort you in the long run, but the immediate need for that gratification is overpowering you. And the same with like substances or even people. I'm also in a phase of realizing that like I need to stop seeking that external validation and just allow myself to validate myself, even if it takes a bit longer or it's a little bit harder to figure out what I'm trying to figure out, to not just immediately doubt your own ability and to go to someone else and ask them to fix it for you or give you the answer or whatever it is that you actually do have within yourself. So this is really just about peeling off the layers. Like, stop weighting yourself down and allow space and time for your inner sunflowers to bloom. And then you will be your own sunflower, and you will radiate that light. You will attract sunlight and you will be sunlight. So give yourself time. You will be fine. Honor yourself where you're at. Accept the death process. Embrace it. It's so beautiful. And then start thinking about what it is that you can let go. Don't even think about it. Just do it. Just even say within your heart, like, I set the intention to let go of whatever it is. Because you may not be conscious. There may be things in your life that you're not even consciously aware of, that they're holding you back, or that you don't identify with them or actually resonate with them. So things work. Like, you don't have to be consciously on a thought level aware of things for things to work. With spirits and with energy, things like work through intention. So you can just set the intention now that you want to let go of things that aren't serving you, because there may be a lot of things that you're completely unaware of in your life that are not serving you. You may be attracted to like media sources or environments or people or foods as a result of a trauma bond, which is when you're attracted to something because of a previous trauma, and it kind of feeds that demon almost. And you may be unaware that you're connected to these things as a result of something negative from your past, you may not be aware that that's the reason you want these things in your life. But your subconscious does know these things. So if you tell your subconscious that you consciously want it to detach from things that are not actually serving it in a healthy way, then it will do that, because your subconscious listens to you. And it's a very powerful thing. It's like very powerful. Humans see 0.0001% of the light spectrum. So all the other everything of existence that we can, and that's just an example of our sight. Now imagine our smell, our hearing, our touch, our mind, our hearts. Like, we are so currently like so limited compared to what is actually out there to be perceived and experienced and sensed. So if you can believe that that your subconscious, so your subconscious is the part of yourself that sees everything, and then your consciousness is that 0.0001% part of yourself that sees like that much of life. So obviously your like waking human ego self doesn't have the full picture, but your subconscious has been there since before you were even born. It knows absolutely everything that you've ever gone through. It was there experiencing it with you. So it knows way more than you could ever know about yourself. But it is you. It's just the part of yourself that's not, it's the below part of the iceberg and you're the tip. So you can tell your subconscious, I want to cut ties, release, let go of everything, everyone, every food, every environment that's not serving me. Maybe that's a little bit overwhelming, but you can just set the intention for release. You can even just say the word in your mind, in your heart, or verbally, or all of the above. Release or let go. Whatever resonates for you. You find your own wording, you find your own way of doing it. It can be as simple as that, where you just say the word let go or release with that intention of letting go of things that are not serving you. And then it can go all the way to you developing yourself some kind of ritual where maybe you burn something, or like you can write people's names. I've done this many times. Write people's names, write memories, whatever, on paper, and then burn it. You can bury things, whatever it is. You can dance it out, you can scream it out, you can sing it out, you can make a painting or a picture, draw something, cook food and then eat it and digest it and poop it out. Like, there's so many ways that you can do ritual, but you don't need to do ritual. Ritual is just, the dogs are howling. Ritual is just a way of like making it more real for your tip of the iceberg self. Your conscious human self maybe can struggle to believe that that this magic can work just on the power of a word, which it does, and it will, and it can. So if you want to do a ritual, do that, but you don't have to do a ritual at all. So yeah, with the dogs howling in the background, I'll wrap it up and just say thanks for being with me, thanks for listening. Let me know, please, if you got something from this. You don't have to go into personal detail, but I felt quite a resonance with making this video and with doing these readings. I think it's quite applicable. You know, we're all different, but we're all under the same sun and under the same stars and have grown up on the same planet. So in one way or another, we're all going to be going through the same thing in our own way. So I believe that readings and stuff can definitely be universal if you are able to use your intuition to see what it's saying to you. Okay, these dogs are getting mad. I'm just gonna go now. Love you so much. Blessings on your journey of release and death and new birth.